Okay, good. Got the mic working here. Okay, got a problem. Hello, internet. I got a problem. I videotaped it. Fix the problem. Maybe you have a similar one. Hopefully this will help. I have an old steering wheel here from back in the day. You still sell it. I believe it's called a Challenger style steering wheel. There's a centerpiece to another steering wheel we had in a dune buggy. There's a picture of it. I believe it's called an Elite. It broke. It's aluminum. They rolled the dune buggy in, but boom, it broke. So we want to make the quick disconnect and its billet thing work and the centerpiece work with this chrome steering wheel that I got here. So look at that. I mocked it up. Looks like it would look okay putting it together, and yeah. So flip over the steering wheel, put it on its face, and center up that cap as best you can between all those screw tips, and mark the holes through with like a felt tip marker like I did. Take your time. That little illustration I did there, I had a camera in one hand, pin through the hole in the other. It was bad. Don't do it so sloppy. After you got the holes marked, punch the holes, like with a screw, like here, or even a punch would probably be a really good idea. Then get a drill and a normal drill bit and some WD-40, and just go ahead and spray it there and do what I'm doing here. Looks good. Don't be intimidated by drilling metal. It's not that tough if you haven't ever done it. Wear your safety goggles and just be careful in general. But for instance, I don't know where that makes sense. But anyway, over concrete here. That's how I'm drilling. If I were to ram the tip of the drill bit into the concrete, it would pretty much destroy the tip of the drill bit. Don't do it. Just be careful. Look at that. I have a wobble. Uh-oh. That was a problem. It's because those screw heads right here, this one I'm taking out, were a little too wide to let that centerpiece sit flush. So taking them out so that I can grind them a little smaller. And yeah, so here's how I did it. 4-inch grinder, angle grinder from Harbor Freight. Cheap. Had it for years. Throwaway model, and it still hasn't been thrown away. Very nice. So you take the screw and grind it like that. Wear your safety goggles. And maybe even some sort of ear protection would be good. There's an old screw that you can see there, and this is how I did it. And then there's afterwards, after it was grinded. A little smaller. It will bring the strength down a little. Not that big of a deal for the situation I got, because they're just sandwiching a piece of plastic there. Yep. You can even punch the holes or the screws through holes in cardboard and paint them to make them look pretty. Yeah, so I put it all together. It worked out pretty well. Sorry I didn't film that. It was all me for the most part after a certain point. Couldn't have anyone help me with the camera. But look at that. Looks good. Those 5 holes that you drilled, make sure that you might have a couple of them off. So you might have to drill a couple of the holes a little bigger than the actual screws that go through. Okay, so here's another way could have done it. I could have just, through those holes there, bolted the steering wheel directly to the quick disconnect, but wouldn't have had a pretty centerpiece. But yeah, and also it had to drill those holes a little bigger right there in the steering wheel, but it would have worked out. Looked like that. No centerpiece. But yeah, anyway, it's all I had. I slapped it together. Hope it helps and didn't waste your time. And good luck with your steering wheel venture. Okay, I've got some final thoughts, final comments here. I left out of the normal narration. The steering wheel in this video was chrome. Not the best idea to get a chrome steering wheel for a dune buggy, or even a car for that matter. I had it in my Geos, and on occasion you get clipped by the sun. It's bright, but it looks pretty. But anyway, yeah, watch out on the polish. You don't necessarily need to polish it because it'll just make it worse. The brand of the steering wheels is GT. It's what it's called, GT. I don't know if it's Grant. There you go, GT Grant. And this setup was made for a dune buggy, off-road vehicle. I don't know if you're gonna have questions on if you can do this to your car, make it a quick disconnect. I don't know. This is for off-road stuff. I don't believe any of those parts that were the quick disconnect portion of it were made for on-road use or okayed by the Department of Transportation. Anyway, be careful with it all. Drilling the holes and stuff. Don't poke your eye out, kid. And yeah, I hope it helped.